Good evening all. Good evening, good evening. Is anyone coming to join me this evening? I can see a few people popping in. Good evening, Louise. Bless you. I hope, there we go. I hope you're starting to feel a little better. Evening, Vivian and Jeanette. Always good to be here with you all. Thank you so much for coming over and joining me. And Tracy, good evening. It feels like it's been ages because last week I was in person. Oh my word, in person. That seemed really bizarre, but fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. Evening. Thank you all for coming to join me. It's good to be here. It felt most odd last week that it was like, well, it's Thursday. I'd normally be here with you, but yeah, I was with people in person. So good evening all. Wendy, Julia. Oh, lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for coming in and joining me. Gosh, I've been busy behind the scenes, super busy. Had a few things arrive, so I've been getting some prepping done, ready for upcoming events, of which I know a good few of you that are watching this evening are down to attend, so I'm looking forward to that. Jeanette, honestly, it was so lovely. Thank you, Shaz, bless you. It was so lovely. So I did a class last Thursday evening, last Friday evening, and then Tuesday of this week. Pre-COVID times, I have always historically ran my classes on the first Thursday and Friday of the month, and then the second and the fourth Tuesday of the month. Good evening from California. And yes, things are stepping back in there, so it suddenly made me think, gosh, what am I going to do then on a Thursday when I can't actually be here with you? So I have got plans for that. I am thinking of doing something that's a pre-recorded, something that you get to see. So if you really still want some company, you can kind of have it. It just won't be live. Good morning from Australia. I hope you are good with a nice cup of coffee in hand. So yeah, hopefully I'll get that sorted for you, ready for the beginning of each month, so that you will still have something. But yes, my ladies, for the Thursday night class we got together, and my Friday night class we had lots of fun. So nice to be back together, actually in person. Not seen me for ages, Julie, bless you. Love all these different time zones, says Sharon. Yeah, we're all over the place. And yes, you will still get the lives. You will still get the lives for the rest of the month. It's just that first Thursday at the moment. I did toy with doing every other week because, of course, I have had some requests for doing classes virtually for all of my monthly classes, and it's just finding the time to be able to squeeze that into my schedule to be able to do an online version of it. So I did sort of think, well, maybe I should sort of hop and do, but for the moment it's only the first Thursday of the month that is the one that is affected. It was even lovely to be back this Tuesday. The lovely Joanna was there on Tuesday, and it was so, the previous two, not that the previous two weren't lovely, they were in like a community room where we went in and there was no one, we didn't see anybody else. But of course at Dunelm we actually got to see the staff there, and they welcomed us so much. It was just lovely. Bert, he is good after his tumble. What is he like? Honestly, I did say to him before I went to Dunelm, he was on his bike, and I said, you need to slow down. He was just raced across the garden, and yeah, sure as eggs, 5 minutes before he needed to leave the house with hubby, he went out, came off his bike, and he's got a nasty graze here, one on his knee, one on his wrist, one on his elbow, you name it. But yeah, bless him. So he wanted a cuddle from mummy before he went to bed. Very windy spring morning here. It's blue skies. We had beautiful blue skies here today, actually. After all the rain you've had. Oh, well, at least you've got some nice weather, even if a little windy. So what have I got for you this evening? Do you know, I have been frantically making behind the scenes. I've had lots of fun these last few days, actually. Pure, dedicated, yes, thankfully teeth intact. That was my concern too. Bless him. He actually said to hubby not to message me whilst I was at Dunelm doing my class. Please don't worry, mummy. She doesn't need to be worried. Bless his heart. Thank you, Nora. Thank you for sharing. Bless you. So I've been making lots of things for some upcoming hops. I'm really looking forward to some of the, well, all of them going live, but some of them I'm really chuffed with and look forward to perhaps recreating them in a live with you. I've had a lot of fun, actually. So, yeah, that's going to be good. Jennifer, I must. In fact, I'm going to write that down so that I don't forget. Crafting for the first time in 3 weeks. Oh my goodness, we need to get you in there. And do you know what? I'm actually toying. You'll be proud of me. I'm toying with doing a scrapbook page tomorrow. I'll show you with what. These are what I'm thinking of putting into my first scrapbook page. So watch this space. So let me just, Jennifer, then I won't forget. Right, so I put some things out there the other day that I got quite a few requests about. How did I do this? How did I do that? Or just that I got a lot of people say you really like the stepped up, where I do a simple version, a slightly more advanced, and then something a little bit more advanced again. So I thought I'd share those cards, and then I'm going to make them with something completely different. Floral, but different. So good evening, Barbara. You have just joined just as I'm about to swing this camera around. So this was what I put out the other day. I really enjoyed making these. The colour theme for these actually came from a parrot. Ironically, let me just refresh that page. I'm suddenly locked up. Yes, it came from, why won't that? Came from a colour theme of a parrot, was what. Have I locked up? Or have you got me? Because on my screen I'm locked up in a really rather delightful pose. Oh, it's nice. I wish they wouldn't do that to us. Am I still here with you? Oh, no. Oh, yes, really loved these and I saw them. Fine here, says Sharon. Good. Maybe it's just my laptop. Let's come out and go back in that way, and then hopefully I will be back. Oh, good. I thought it's obviously it was just my laptop. It is not showing it properly. It's still locked up, mind. Okay, looks like I'm on one screen tonight, but never mind. We will. It doesn't want to know. It might catch up in a minute. It's obviously it's freezing for Diane. It's freezing for me. I know a lot of people I've been hearing have been having some intermittent problems. Some people are saying you need to check that you're. In fact, I must check actually. Need to check if apps and updates and things are all up to date, so to speak. I need to check that myself. Wendy says she's lost me. Oh dear. All good. So it's a bit half and half here. Okay, well, I'm going to just hope and pray that it's good for most. So these cards here, as I say, the colour theme came from a parrot. So I get my inspiration from all sorts of different places. Oh, I think I'm back in the room. And so this one is just quite simply, it's like flat, it's simple ink and paper, there's just straight edges here. This one, I stepped things up a bit. I used a punch to do this and did a little bit of fussy cutting and added some depth and a little bit of extra colour. And then I stepped it up again by doing, there's no dies for this one, but I did fussy cutting, and then I added some dies from, I think this was from hand penned. Yes, it was, because then I added the scalloped edge from that as well, and a little bit of sponging and that in the background. So I thought I would do, I pulled forward, I spoke to somebody earlier. She's watching and she is a little poorly. So I thought I'll do a get well card. And I thought we need to do some flowers. And I thought I would bring this one forward because I haven't used this one in a long time. Blossoms in Bloom. I love this one. It's also helpful that it's got a get well soon in here. But I loved this stamp set from the moment the annual catalogue launched, actually. This was my firm favourite. I still love it. And I still think it is extremely usable and some great simple sentiments. This is a real go-to. And yes, you do need to get it out again, Julia, because that's exactly how, Julie, that's exactly how I felt. So, just like with my stepping up of these cards, I have kind of gone for a similar theme. So I've chosen shimmery white. The reason I've chosen that, A, is because I love the shimmer and the soft kind of, it's not a white, it's not a cream, it's kind of slightly ivory, but also, should I want to add a wash of colour, this paper will withstand it. If I'd have used plain basic white, it could have puckered and I would have needed to have stamped an image that would be harder if I choose to go down that avenue. So we'll start with one of these. These are just cut to 3 1/4 and then the full height of a card, your standard card front. And when I do a stepped up, it can be, I mean, you can change things completely, but it's quite useful sometimes to just have 3 of these and then work from there. It's really, really simple. So I've already got some of these bits set out. Now, this one is overhanging. It really doesn't matter that it's overhanging because I'm actually only going to ink up part of it. So don't ever be kind of fearful that, oh my goodness, I need to have a full one or whatever. This is, you can see, is heavily loved because it is so stained. And I did have to give it a super clean because it was changing colours for me. So, what have I got for you here? Highland Heather, Fresh Freesia, Bumblebee and Granny Apple Green. I thought these, I might possibly throw in a little Gorgeous Grape, possibly. Exactly. If you've got it out, you know, it's useful too. And when you cut for one thing, you can then do lots of other things with what, you know, the bits that you've got left over. I didn't realise it was in a single stamp. Yes. Just couldn't connect for a while. Ah, nice colours. Good. I'm pleased you like those colours. I thought they were quite, they're almost ice creamy in a kind of a funny way. But yes, so this is one very large stamp. But as I say, I have got the larger block, but I actually only want these 2 here. So it's not so big for me to have to handle, so that makes it easier. And then I've put a few of the other these other smaller ones and the leaves all onto these are, it's like one extreme to the other, the really big block to the much smaller blocks. So I've got a selection of those there as well. Thank you, Sharon. They do look rather pleasant together. I thought that. So for this first card, it's really funny. When I normally do a stepped up card series, I often find myself starting at the most stepped up and peeling it back. But I will go the opposite way for you. So Highland Heather. We are going to bring in Highland Heather. Now this is going to be some kind of strategic inking. So I want this one and this one. Okay. So I'm going to, now if I get a tiny little bit onto the tips of these, it won't matter too much. I don't want too much on there, but it won't matter too much. So can you see I'm taking it into the corner to try and ink Now, what you could do, if you didn't feel confident doing it that way, you could take a dauber and ink it up that way. It will come out softer. And of course, what you could also do, which is why mine's stained more in the middle, is you could add some deeper tone to the middle. But I'm not going to do that. So those two are the only two inked. So here we go. That's nice and straight. I am going to put that there. You'd have to mask the other flowers. I'm probably going to regret that and wish I had, because look, however, that one might bother me. Yeah, I have caught a bit there, but I've got a scrap of this, and that's where I want to put a sentiment. So I'm going to be covering some of that. So that actually, which is why it didn't worry me too much. That I could cover, but again, this is very relaxed. It shouldn't matter too much that I've kind of gone over. But yeah, if you feel that you need to mask things, then do so. Fresh freesia. You know me, I like to live dangerously with some of these things. Then I am going to dauber and blending brushes work to just softer. Yes, they do indeed. I've got a dauber here if I wanted to do that, but I just, you know me, I like to live life dangerously. So I've got fresh freesia here, and I've got two different flowers. So as I say, I'm going to put a sentiment here. That was purposefully chosen because I knew that there'd be potentially some haphazardness there. I'll put one over here. I like these colours together. I think they're quite sweet. And we will put one there. They're rather nice. Right. Then we will bring in Granny Apple Green. Oh, I love this colour. I so love this colour. Right, let's have a look. Just check that's fully clean. So I'm not going to ink the full leaf. I'm kind of just leaving that bottom piece out, just so as I can try and nest it in a bit closer wherever I want to put it. I'm hoping. There you go. Just overhanging it, you see, and then maybe we'll have one over here. Okay, maybe I'm going to go for another one of those. The same again, but I'm going to do it down there. You like the colour combo, Jennifer. Good. Good, good, good. Right, let's put some flower centres. So I've chosen Bumblebee. I thought this was a nice kind of muted yellow. It's not too harsh. And that needs its own, and that one. So I've got the big spotty one, and I've got this one here. So let's put that in there, and in there. Nice. And then we'll add in there. Like that. Okay. Close those so I don't. Right, then we want a get well. I got some. Let's use Let's do a get well soon. So this is the real peeled back. I think that looks sweet. Thank you. So I've got get well soon. Really simple sentiments. There's no fluffy sort of script to this. Now, I was going to do it black. Thank you, Nora. Or I wasn't sure whether to stamp it maybe with Blackberry Bliss so that it is not such a hard black, if you know what I mean. No, I think it needs to be. I don't think that's deep enough. I wondered, but I don't think it's, we will go black. Okie doke. So, we will do there. And then, really easy. The thing with Get Well Soon cards, you often don't know when you're going to need them, do you? So sometimes it's good to have a little stack of them. So you could make a little batch to have 2 or 3. Let's just... do we think to that? So this is all the peeled back. There's no heat embossings. There's nothing like that. Ooh, from Brazil. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Gosh, it's been a while since I've been there. Right, okay, help me here with... Where's the other ribbon gone? I had another ribbon. Which... Oh, there it is. Dafty. So we've got Fresh Freesia, which is obviously showing within here. You always make it look so easy and beautiful. Oh, thank you. You come up with some beauties, so you are more than capable. What's this? Gorgeous grape, so a darker tone. Or do you fancy bringing in a bit of gold? One of these 3. Now, we've also got another choice for you. Do we? So where I'm thinking of putting this, I'll show you, is just a little flash behind the sentiment. Okay, so it will kind of be a bit like that. Great. Wow, this is stunning. It's just the start. Oh, bless you. Yes, this is the first one. So we will be stepping this up. Grape, grape. So let me show you grape. Gorgeous grape. Let's do that with that. Okay, grape is certainly getting your vote. So if we go grape, what do you say to either? We got bumblebee. Let me just weigh that down. We got bumblebee, or we have got keep the tones the same and bring in Fresh Freesia. Depends whether you want more of the purpley pink, not pinky, purpley tones, or whether you want to bring in that contrast. What do you think? What do you like the idea of? That one, or perhaps grape, but angle it more with the loop on the diagonal. It will. I will show a little bit more of that ribbon. That's just to give a rough idea of where it's going. Fresh Freesia, Fresh Freesia. Frisia's looking like it's, and Bianca says contrast. I think Frisia's getting the main vote though here. So I think we could always do the next one, the stepped up one with the bumble, because the next one will have some papers, of which maybe I should show you those, and then you can decide. That might throw you. So for our next card, when we get to it, if we go Bumblebee, we could add that paper. If we go Frisia, bearing in mind we're stepping it up, we could go with, I was going to say plaid then, gingham. Oh my goodness, the choices. And these are from the pansies, which I haven't used anywhere near enough of. Bumblebee. Frisia. I think Frisia's still getting it. So maybe for this one, we'll keep it on the Frisia. And maybe, yeah, Bumblebee for the second card. I think you might be right there. So let's pull this together then. We need to give that a little press. We will keep this one flat and simple and peeled back. This is to be, you know, no gingham on this card. No. This was literally for somebody who is just kind of starting out. They just want to do some inking, a simple little layout and a sentiment. And I will need to trim that because that will bother me. And perhaps just a little bit of ribbon or something that just pretties it up a little. But pretty. Good. I went through so many different ideas earlier I was thinking of, and it was like, oh, no, I could use that for that. Oh, no, I could use that for that. So I've been on a little roll at the moment, and I'm really chuffed. I'm kind of managing to get ahead because I had a delivery take a little while. I've had to get ahead because next week's going to be crazy busy. And so I needed to be prepared for that. So I've been, working super. And ironically, one of the cards that I made today, which I really enjoyed, ready for a blog cop, was a Halloween card. Now, I don't often do Halloween cards. Oops, that's my glue dots. But I did so enjoy it. I just think we've got such cute Halloween papers, which are called Cute Halloween, that it was fun. Oh, why can't I lift that up? Doesn't want to come off. Come on. The whole thing keeps lifting. There we go. That's that. And I certainly did, Audrey. I was delighted. It is my second one. But yes, I did. Life has been better today. Frantically busy, but much better today for seeing that, I can tell you. I'm delighted. There we go. Right, and then we'll pop that in so that you see a little bit more of the looping of that lovely ribbon. Really pretty. So there you go. There. Now I would normally like that to stick to card, not onto ribbon, but I will let that go because that's where it's going to sit now. So there you go. Thank you, Audrey. Thank you. Did you get... Oh, that was the first one I saw. Yeah, so there you go. There's our first one. Really simple little peeled back card, and it didn't really take too long for that to come together. Yes, Carol, one has, but still not for last week's, for the classes that have just gone past. That still hasn't arrived. You could add more embellishments and things to that if you wanted, some rhinestones and bits, but yeah, we don't necessarily need to. Yes, we have got lots of slow deliveries. Gorgeous cards, so pretty, fabulous. Thank you. So let's change things up a little bit now. So we have got, definitely does not look simple. Shaz, you'll be surprised. That's it. It is. I mean, it's just that inking of those two to just define those two. Of which there are alternatives if you really want to do. Let's just give that. Look at maybe they're all hanging off. So I'm going to pick the same two flowers again, but this time I might add. I'm going to add some. I think I might even add a third one actually. In which case, I could do with a scrap. With a scrap. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you. Bless you. I'm so pleased you like, all of you. Right. I'm going to stamp a few here. That will be for fussy cutting. I should have lifted that up. We'll just do that again. I don't really mind that that's not fully inked. Then, in fact, I might just fussy cut them. Then I can set some other bits behind. Let's do that. So I'm going to add the centre of these first, of which we went for the big dotty one. Let's do both of those. There we are. So scissors. Let's just, so there are dies in this bundle, although I don't think it's sold as a bundle. Oh yes it is. There's no dies that cut out like the open shape, as I would call it. Only, I'll show you in a minute the ones that you can cut out, and they are rather beautiful. But this card, I always think the second card in the equation doesn't necessarily include dies. So this would be for somebody who has got a little bit more product, but not necessarily all the die cutting machines and things like that. So there's one flower. Now, ironically, although that one's fully on and that one's not, I prefer that one, but I've cut that one now. Oh, Audrey, have you tried the good old go out, come back, refresh? I had to do that with my screen and now I'm back to normal, but I did have that myself. It did not want to know. But yeah, I'm hearing a lot of people saying that they're having issues with Facebook Lives of late. So I'm only fussy cutting these so that I can create some height with this particular card. There we go. Now, someone else is saying, oh, You're all getting some bits now. I might even add a little bit of the darker tone now, or just some more Highland Heather. Let's go for some more Highland Heather. So I'm going to pick those flowers and I'm going to add a little bit more ink, layer it over. I could have done this at the time when I did it, but I didn't. Let's just see if that adds a tiny bit more, but not a lot. Much better on a bigger screen. Please don't tell me I'm in HD. Right, then. There we go. It's not added much, but it's added a tiny bit. Not masses. I could have gone darker, but I'm fearful of going too dark and then I don't want it to fight with the other bits. So we've got that. We will now add some of those other flowers and the leaves, but we're going to add the height now. So let's bring in, I'm going to just sit these here so that I kind of know where they're going to be going. And we will add there. I'm going to add there. I might fussy cut one. Which we'll add down here. Then Bumblebee centres again. I'm on your TV full screen. I think you need widescreen. You need widescreen for me right now. There it is. So that's that simple little round one. Or sort of round one. And there. Let's cut that one out. So we're going Bumblebee card base for this one then, and we'll bring in the Bumblebee paper that's from the pansies or poppies. Pansies, not poppies. That was another stamp set that I pulled forward and I thought, oh, shall I use that tonight? Was the, poppies. 65-inch full HD here now. Tony's gone to bed. Bless him, I don't blame him. I love it. Right, Granny Apple Green. I think I will mourn the day when that eventually might choose to go. Right, this time I'm going to just ink that fully. And we'll go for the same places, but this time we'll add one there. We will consider cutting one or two out. To add a bit of height again and interest, as I just think, you see where this one has gone off, that's where I would then on this next card step it up and allow it to go off, give it that movement to stick out. So in fact, let's start bringing in the card base. I'm writing my logs for my new, Oh, Claire, don't worry, bless you. Good evening. Gosh, how can you concentrate on that, Bianca, at the same time? Let's pull in. So the beauty of doing a layout like this is I can now cut just like a strip of this. So let me just do a kind of 1-inch strip. And then you see I can stick that down onto there. If I did do the poppies, do you know, I was actually thinking of doing them Coastal Cabana. Yeah, that's going to be nice. I like that. Yeah, I actually toyed with doing Coastal Cabana rather than your kind of traditional reds and that. I fancied something kind of a bit out there, really. Just cutting this to length. So again, this would be for someone. They've got some papers. They've got some other materials and tools, but not masses. So stick this pretty paper down. And I'm just stepping it in from the edge so that you see some of that plain at the side there. The pattern, and then we will lift, but listening to me at all times. Oh, you make me laugh. There we go. And this we will lift up so that it adds some height. So actually no, I'm not going to put my dimensionals on that until I have I'm certain I have finished stamping. But I'm going to add some dimensionals. So this is going to be double dimensional. Whoever I send this to, I must love very much, because this will go into into large letter because of the height of these, because this is going to be potentially lifted as well. Joanna's doing crocheting whilst listening. Bless you. I love listening to what you all get up to. Right, so let's cut some of these, and then these can overhang like I mentioned. It was really nice weather out there today. One of our neighbours was having some trees pruned, ready for the winter. God, it seems mad to be thinking winter, but we are very much autumny now, aren't we, here? You see, that can now cascade over. Ah, Barbara's also crocheting. What exactly are you both crocheting? Is it like clothing items, soft toys? What sorts of things? Just managing contract. I bought 8K with the dogs today. God, beautiful weather for it though, Carol. Absolutely beautiful. At least you can kind of see what I'm doing this evening. The other evening we were so distanced, it's like you can barely see, can't you? Still, it was good to be back. There we go. So we can add another in. Maybe down here. Good to be in autumn. It really is, Karen. You'll find it so much easier now. It absolutely is. Yeah, that was when I had my colours done, and it was made it so much easier to find things. Right, do we think we need any more with this? infinity scarves while waiting on my baby wool to arrive, and then I'll be making a baby blanket for a christening present. Beautiful. Oh, Joanna, that sounds gorgeous. You should then make like a box and a card to give it, you know, to present it in. Now, do we fancy, you're well into spring with new leaves and make. I love spring. Appearance together with a new blossom and morning sung by the birds. Beautiful. We saw a lot of birds flying off yesterday. Which, yeah, they were all migrating in their V formation. It was incredible to watch. Right, I'm wondering these little flowers here, whether to add just a couple, but I can't decide what colour. Do I do more of the freesia, the Highland? I'm not so torn towards the yellow because of the yellow base. I feel it then might become too much. Oh no, what are you like? What's that? Had your colours done in the 90s. My sports session was late, so I was... Ah, Brigitte, bless you. You've not missed any talk about food, cakes or singing. We haven't had that. Right, let's take that and see. That might potentially go there. I might make this one possibly a birthday card. Let's have a look what other we've got here. Happy birthday, thinking of you, thank you. I don't know that I would ever send I like you a lot. I do, but I wouldn't necessarily send that. I would probably just send hello. Sure do miss you. I might do a thinking of you because that's another one that's going to be a much shorter little... This is obviously losing its stick. It needs cleaning. That's what happens. Or shall I do a birthday? No, I'll make the next one a birthday. We will do the next one up as a birthday. Okay, do we fancy bannering? Did we decide on these? Bumblebee. That is losing its stick. It's well used and needs cleaning. Let's have a little look. Oops, didn't quite. You think so? Might do second generation so it's not so thinking of you as longer in the beauty of friendship. I'll have a look in a sec. I'm wondering whether second generation so it's not so in your face, so to speak. Right, let's just see. She says and misses half of the stamp there. Yeah, that's sweet. That's sweet. I like that. Because that's not too much. Yeah, that's sweet. Ah, Joanna. Two minds think alike. Now, what was it you said? Beauty of friendship. Let's have a look. Have I got that? Beauty of friendship. Yes, it is longer, isn't it? Thinking of you, because that one's going to be shorter, but that might be kind of quite sweet actually to do a shorter one. I'm going to stamp it first and see. And I think I might even keep I was going to consider bannering the ends, but I think I might possibly do that on the next one. I agree. And I tell you the bumblebee that I love, this ribbon. I adore that little gingham bumblebee ribbon. I think it is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But then I love kind of ginghams, so any ginghams. Oh, can't quite see what I'm doing there. Whether it be in ribbon or paper, gingham is lovely. Let's see what that's like. So just a simple, good old black memento. Let's take that down. Do we want it in a different place this time? Because we've got some fussy cut pieces, we can afford to move these things around, you see. And we can also put our ribbon in a different way. We could almost kind of do that with it. Oops. 20 Christmas cards this morning with cookies and cake. 20 Christmas cards. You're doing a good job there. Do we like the sentiment on that? So I might shorten those if I were to leave that there. What do you think to that side? And then I'll get sticking. That would be one, that would be the second. You like that, Audrey? Isn't it funny? There are occasions when there was a card, I can't remember what it was now. There was a card the other day. Oh, it was the one with balloons on. I nearly didn't even put it out there. And everyone was like, oh, it's lovely. It's really lovely. I was like, really? I nearly didn't even show you. Right. So let's commit to some of this. You like that? Good, 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 good. Let's do that. Let's do that overhanging. We will shorten this. You like these colours? They're really, I don't know, I don't know what drew me to doing them. But I just felt they were quite sweet, really. I don't know if this ribbon is quite in the right place. And shortened, yes, I'm quite happy with that actually. Where's my tape? The little rectangle dies from Beauty, the Friendship Bundle, add a nice little edge to the sentiment. They do, you are absolutely right. I might use something like that on the next one. This one was, I was tempted to use a punch for this one. As I say, I'm purposefully trying to have it that the first card is just kind of like inks and paper. The second card uses a little bit more, but we're still not into the die cutting machine. The next one we can go full on and add dies and all sorts of different things to that and really step it up. Just so that it kind of shows people that, you know, if you're starting out, you don't necessarily have all the wonderful, beautiful products, but you can still create some really lovely... Why have I got two of these on the go? Oh dear. And then there'll be some of you going, she's not taking them from a straight line. Here we go. Yes, I might look at a little die for the next one maybe. Which will be a birthday. that there. Then I might stick that one flat actually, or as flat as I can get it over the ribbon. Obviously I left the lid off and not stood up. Let's just do that, and before I push that down too much, I want to get that in under there. Then we will add this. I'm cleaning up my desk as I watch, and have so far found 4 opened tomboy green glues. I recently had not dissimilar number actually open, and I made myself work through them, and I'm now down to the last 2. But I don't know why I've suddenly got 2 of these open, but now I know for some covering the flowers kind of would bother you, but there you go. Now, if you wanted, this is where we could, if you wanted, now start bringing in, because we're stepping up a little bit. This is now someone that's venturing out and they're starting to buy a few more things. So we could add, a couple of there. What do we think to that? You think that's sweet? So you can see so it's not massively stepped up, but I've fussy cut, and so it's enabled me to give a little bit of height and interest. Added some paper. If I felt that this sentiment could have carried it, I could have perhaps used maybe a punch. I think it might have been a bit too big on there, possibly. Yeah, a little bit too big. But we could have brought in a punch if we had something we felt was suitable. I did toy with one of those ends, but I felt it was probably a bit short for that. It's going to be all ends otherwise. Oh, good. Love the card. Might have to copy this with my coffee and cake morning, if you don't mind. Of course, please do. Good. Good. I'm so pleased. I'm pleased you like it. So we're going to step it up again. Now we're going for someone that's got a little bit more stuff, probably quite a bit more stuff actually. And they might, throw a bit more. So we've got die cutting we can go into this now. So we need to think about our card base. We have got this, and I'm going to need some more scrap. I should have just... I'll use that for my scrap. So a bit like this one, I'm going to do a wash across the back. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. I'm so pleased you liked. So I'm going to bring in the bumblebee, and I'm going to squeeze a bit into the lid. Oops. And I'm going to get this bit done first, so it's got a little bit of time to dry whilst I then let's pull out the bigger one. My first pack of these were not very good. This second pack that I've now got, I love them. I absolutely love them. So thinking about where this kind of sits, roughly here, I am now going to add, Don't worry that there's a darker bit, because this is going to only stick out in little areas. It's just going to give that lift. So this is the shimmery white, Audrey, shimmery white. You could also do it on your watercolour paper. You wouldn't want to do this on basic white, because on basic white it will quite often will bobble and pucker, as I call it. So we will do that. I'm going to set that aside to finish kind of drying, and I'm going to do some stamping on here. Where have I done with my stamp? Here it is. And this time I think I'm going to bring in some gorgeous grape. So let's, same colours, Highland Heather, and I'm going to fussy cut them, so it doesn't matter this time about how much I get in here. What size did you get it, please? As in this is the full length of a piece of card, of your card, and this one is 3 1/4 inches wide, and that's the same applies for all 3 of these cards. So bringing in a dauber, I'm now going to bring in some gorgeous grape. So I'm going to take a little bit to the centre of these 2. And we'll see what that does. I'm going to fussy cut these, so I'm just going to put them at this end. It's done a bit, but not masses. I could start playing around with that, but I'm not going to, only because I know what I'm going to do with it again in a minute. So we will pull out fresh freeze jam. I'm going to stamp a couple of these, just so I've got a few to choose from for fussy cutting should I want. I might not use all of them, but it takes a moment to stamp those, doesn't it? And then, oh, I need to do the middles, don't I? Bumblebee centres again, which is the big dotty one. I love how this set, it's just literally coming together so quickly with just, ink and paper. You can feel like a budding artist. There we go. Okie doke. Right, so what do we need to think about? I'm wondering for this one if we try that gingham on this one and maybe go for the fresh freesia card base. What do you reckon? Then whiz around these as quick as I can for you. I can't believe it's Friday tomorrow already. Another week has passed. This year just seems to be flying by. So much so I completely forgot our food order this week, and it came this morning, and let's just say it was a bit of a feeble attempt. It really wasn't very good, so I managed to secure a slot. They're coming again tomorrow. That's terrible, I know. But they, yeah, I couldn't believe that I completely forgot. Is it really, Barbara? 100 days to Christmas. Oh, it's mad. Mad. Right. Now, I've done a little bit of die cutting to help us. Just because I knew I'd have a little bit of fussy cutting to do. So I have done that to help us. Oops. Christmas, mad. Mind you, yeah, we'll be thinking about, you know, Halloween, bonfire night, all these. What is it like ordering your groceries as opposed to the supermarket in person? I use Ocado. I've used them now for, oh my goodness me, 20 odd years. Because they take straight from the warehouse. So when I choose, it pretty much tells me straight away if it's out of stock. Very, very rarely do I get substitutes. There are occasions, but I personally prefer ordering online because it stops the kind of impulse buying. I look at the amount totting up at the top and it just keeps me in check a little bit. So I do prefer that. That was Bumblebee. So I am now bringing in Bumblebee there. I'm just going to... Yeah, I've done it for, as I say, for 20 odd years. Just in the nib, and just be careful not to use too much pressure. God, is this... Oh, look at that. That's nearly as dry as old bones. Well, that's not going to flick, is it? Okay, that needs sorting. Okay. That's not good. That's a shame. What have I got here? Shall I use a dark daffodil? Fresh meat, fruit and veg. It can be hit and miss at times. Sometimes they're good. Very occasionally. We did have some strawberries last week that it was like, seriously. But generally good. And our meat is very good, actually. I can't grumble about that. But I do know some people that do have problems. But yeah, we've not... You see how much that lifts it? That yellow in the background there? Yeah, we don't have problems. We're quite lucky. I'm going to get that gingham. Yeah, I seldom have to pass comment about things that I'm not happy with them. Oops, she drops the paper. Just some of that pretty gingham paper. And we will do the same again with this. 9 out of 10, it's absolutely fine. I'll ring them to tell them after the... Yeah, I am the same. So I had... No, it wasn't strawberries last week. It was some tomatoes last week that were kind of the day after I opened them and went to use them, and they were not good. But that doesn't happen often. It's very seldom. I'm very lucky, actually. As I say, by the time I find it also very time saving that I don't have to go to the supermarket, and the cost of us driving over to the supermarket, the time it takes and everything. I just find it really useful. There we go. Trim that up. I've not measured those strips because they're going to get stuck behind. I love gingham, Audrey. pretty little gingham dresses and all sorts. Right, we will put this, just going to do that. And in fact, I tell you what I'm also going to do to that. I am going to think about where that's sitting. I'm going to bring in that bumblebee again, and I'm going to hope that they will be visible when I start clustering this up. If they're not, I can add one, but I'd kind of like to do it now if I can. So I said I'd done a little bit of die cutting. Carol used Tesco's all through lockdown, and Joanna does too. Yeah, so I don't know if I've ever used Tesco's, not for any other reason than I've always used Ocado, and I've always had good things with them, so I've stuck with them. Right, these are the dies. Love these. They're absolutely gorgeous. So there's kind of like one thicker layer that you can then layer up with the thinner one. I'm going to use the thinner one. Now, as I say, I have done a little bit of die cutting already. What I'm going to do though also, so I've die cut a few of these, which I think these are so pretty. So pretty. I've cut those. We can either layer them over, or we can kind of put them to one side. We'll decide on that in a bit. And then I have also die cut part of this in the Highland Heather. And I've done just part of it because it's those two flowers that I want, because I'm going to put them over the top of there. So let's snip this out. It is that one, isn't it? Yeah. Oops. So it's quite nice that you can just pick the bits you want out of these and make use of what you want to. And you don't have to die cut all of it either, which is pretty handy. Get a shot of that because I've going to cut that in the Granny Apple Green in a moment to add. Ooh, it's very delicate, but it's very beautiful. Get rid of all these little bits. There we go. Then we can decide about those bits in the middle and pokey tool them out. And that will show the yellow through from behind. If I felt I wanted to see more yellow through, oh, those ones didn't cut very well, I might have to leave that, and then I will show you what you could do. And we'll get rid of that piece there. Now, if we don't like that over the top, we could always put it in behind, kind of split them maybe and put it in behind if we don't like them sitting over. Then I'm going to split a piece of Granny Apple Green into 3 pieces, and then if you can see, there's leaves in this corner and this corner, and I could always use these, but I might just do those 2 actually. So I'll run that through and make use of those. That's me just being frugal with some cardstock. rather than cutting a whole one. Okay, so you get that out. There we go. I quite like that piece as well as a, so you can use the positive or the negative here. Karen says she's going to have to start shopping. He's got his first part-time job at Tesco's Kettering. Ah, I used to belong to the gym opposite there. In the days when I used to go to the gym, that is. I haven't been to the gym in years, but I used to go there. Right, I'll pop those bits out. And then there we go. And then we'll do the same with this one. I say I'll keep those because I might use them, I might not, but it's worth keeping in case. These little tiny bits. Doo-doo. Where am I going? So yeah, I probably wouldn't make huge numbers of these, but this is that. We'll make this into a birthday card, and this will be that little bit extra special. There we go. So we can always stamp as well, and we can use, see, that's bothering me, that one that's not cut, but we can put pearls on there, or we can put our sentiment and disguise that. And then just joined the gym and spa at Kettering Hotel. Ooh, Diane, that's nice. I like it there. I did try to go there actually once to do some of their classes. And I think I ended up, they were all at the wrong times for me, unfortunately. But that's only about 20 minutes down the road from me. Literally. Just to zoom along there. And of course I will be there in a week's time. Right, I'm not sure I want those over the top of all of these. We'll add as we go. Let's start thinking about committing. I'm going to put another green leaf in here. Where are my leaves? Over here. Okie dokie. Granny apple. We will add a stamped one. We will add another over here. I do like these colours together. I'm going to lift this up now on my dimensionals. Kettering. It's moving from Watford to Kettering next month. Any recommendations for a nice lunch places? Oh, nice. Lunch places are 11 hour. Oh, it keeps jumping. There are some nice lunch places around there. I'll have to have a think for you, and I'll come back to this thread and find you and message. There are some nice places. There's a nice pub in between here and there. That's a good one that we sometimes go to. The name escapes me right now. It might come to me in a minute. But yeah, I'll have a look for you and see. Karen might also know of some. There we go. Right, let's get this sorted. Huh, how funny is that? Karen's also originally from Watford. It's a small world sometimes, isn't it? When we, there we go. Get that in. Very small world. Add that. Then we can think about adding in. Now, sometimes for these little skeleton ones, I might use glue dots. Oh, I've got one of, this is a brand new roll, and I've got one of those rolls that's kind of rolled backwards on itself. That's annoying. There we go. Then we'll have a look here. We'll get that one in there. Yeah, my last one was all right, but this one is freshly opened for this evening, and it is another back to front one, as I call it. I'm getting all super sticky here. Tuck that in and under. Pretty, pretty. The 50 class meetup, and we go for lunches all the time. Mel's in Allingbury. Have to look for some of these. Tonight we were talking about, we haven't been out for a really good curry in a long while. And couldn't think of where to go for one. So if anyone lives or knows this way and can think of one, or Cambridge way, or let's put one down there. I've not put any ribbon in here yet, and I've covered everywhere. Got distracted by all my flowers, all my pretty flowers. Let's see, we could just put a little piece in, and we're going to go happy birthday on this one. Let's have a look. Your broadcast has been paused, so off to walk the dogs. Ah, bless you. You take care, Vivian. Enjoy your walk. It'll be nice and fresh out there. So let's have a look at this sentiment. I'm going to go happy birthday. There we go. And let's do that. Let's think about maybe just quite simply a simple shape. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. That's a real simple one. A real generic. Now we could go for a colour. I think I might just... Oops. A little bit more. That's better. Beckwith Emporium. Yes, I like Beckwith Emporium. Haven't been there. Gosh, remember the last time I went. That doesn't want to come out. I haven't been there for a while. We usually go there at Christmas and go and use the ice rink and the curling rink. Have you ever done that? That was fun one year. Really fun. I think they let about 8 of you in a group use it. And it really was. Oh, have they changed it in there? I'll have to venture and have a look. Where's my black gone? Black memento. Oh, that's just twisted. There you go. That's a sweet little birthday. You do curling in the church hall, do you, Barbara? We absolutely loved it the year we went. It was so much fun. So much fun. Right, I'm wondering whether to do just these ones and not the big one. I can't help but feel it's a bit too much, a bit heavy for this card. Would you agree? Do you think just the little stamper stack at home, says Louise. Ah, the boxes are all sat in here right now over on the side. Hubby's been helping me get some bits all set up, so it's all slowly starting to come together. It's too big, so lots more people. Oh, that's obviously in the... Yeah, I think it's a real cluster here, but I think that is too much, actually. I'm not going to add those ones. I'm going to just go for these ones, which I think are very sweet. I'll do that. We will add... Oh, where's my... Buried it. Anne's looking forward to it too. I'm so pleased. Yeah, it's all starting to come together now. And yeah, I'm really on it now. In fact, the at-home kits arrived before the in-person kits, ironically. Thank you, Diane. Bless you. Thank you. Take care of yourself. There we go. Let's get that on there. We're nearly there with this. Very sweet. And I like the way it kind of overhangs at the side here as well. Put another one in there. Yeah, all coming together for that now. Then we'll add, I'd like one sitting over the sentiment a tiny bit. Down here. No, I think that's enough. I think that is enough. And then we will take maybe these again. This is another thing I considered, but I think they're too heavy, possibly. Are these ones? You seen these? You could put a few little tiny ones of those, but I think I'd prefer the glitteriness of these ones. I think they're quite sweet. But tonally, the others would have gone nicely. We'll add some more of these, like so. There you go. There, and that has just stepped it up that little bit. Ooh. So we've got, move those out the way. I'm very pleased you like. So that is 3 cards there, each stepped up one little bit more than the other, but all based on the kind of the same sort of theme and products as the other. The colours I used, there was a touch of Gorgeous Grape, but it was mainly Fresh Freesia, Highland Heather, Granny Apple Green and Bumblebee tonight. And then the stamp set, Blossoms in Bloom. And the dies are the dies that go with the Blossoms in Bloom, which I can't get back in there. Oops. Which are Many Layered Blossoms. So there you go. I hope you like saving this so you can watch it again. Do you put on YouTube? Do you know, I want to say yes, I do put onto YouTube. I'm not very good at doing that actually, but I really need to get back into the habit of doing that because I do normally, and then they will be there for you. So I will make a conscious effort of doing that for you because I am bad at doing that. I think it's because it takes so long. It slows up our computer. But there you go. I'm so chuffed that you like those. Yeah, I quite really like the colour palette on those actually. Really like the colour palette on those. So I'm pleased you do too. Let me just move that before I go sitting down on something. So, you are welcome. Very welcome indeed. Bless you. Thank you. I'm so pleased you enjoyed that. I liked those. I enjoyed those. Just, yeah, very similar theme to the other ones that I've done before, but just different colours, different flowers, different, well, semi-different layout, but not quite. Lovely, thanks again. Talk soon. Oh yes, Carol, I have got what I said. I'll message you tomorrow. We'll get that sorted for you, bless you. Right, I am going to love and leave you. Thank you so much for a lovely evening and the little chit chat that we had. It was really lovely. So pleased you enjoyed those. I will be with you next Thursday, which will be just before the start of my Stamp a Stack. I nearly said Stamp a Stack season then, but yeah, Stamp a Stack. My in-person one will be on the 25th, on the Saturday, and then on the 2nd of October, I've got my online version of it. So lots going on here, and it's all slowly coming together. There are boxes everywhere and ribbon cut, and it's fab. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I will see you next week. Take care until then. Enjoy the weekend, and Louise, get well soon. Take care. Bye.